I'm Robert Timmons, and you're watching Weekly Words.
Stop me, oh, somebody stop me, stop me, stop me, please, somebody stop me, stop me, oh, somebody stop me, and Lord, if I'm doing it.
Hey everyone, thank you for checking out this week's episode of Weekly Words. I want to thank everybody who's been supporting me and buying my book. If you haven't gotten your copy, please be sure to check it out on Amazon, Behind the Smile. The link is below. All right, let's go ahead and get started with this week's topic. Okay, so this week I want to start with a story. So I'm part of a men's small group with church, and a couple weeks ago, one of the guys there was sharing. He was saying how he was tucking his daughter into bed one night, and she likes to be read a story before she goes to sleep, and she likes the lights to be out. So he was getting her out her crib, and he had to, go turn the lights off and then go back to the rocking chair, which was back behind him. Well, of course, the switch and the chair are in two different places. So he turned off the switch, and then he just started walking immediately backwards because he knew the chair was right behind him. He gets down to where the chair is, and he feels back for the armrest. He gets the armrest, he goes to sit down, and he ends up falling on the floor because he was on the outside of the chair, not actually in front of the chair. He falls to the ground, and him and his daughter are both okay. They both laughed it off. They were fine. And then when he went to get up, he realized that his eyes started adjusting to everything, and that's how he saw that he was on the side of the chair and not in front of it. And so he goes and he sits in the chair, and then he starts thinking to himself, dang, if I would have just waited a couple of moments for my eyes to adjust, then I would have been able to see all the different obstacles and stuff in the room and made it to the chair safely, right? And I like to parallel that to our lives. So let's check it out. I think there's so many times in our life whenever we think we know what we're supposed to do, right? We think we know all the potential outcomes and all the different obstacles and the temptations in our path, whatever. We're like, yo, I got this, right? I'm prepared for this, and I know that God has called me to do this purpose, and I'm going to do this. This is good, all this kind of stuff, right? And lots of the times, what we're working to do isn't a bad thing, right? If you're a singer and you're auditioning for different singing opportunities, right? Or if you're a leader and you're stepping up to leadership in these different organizations or these different events in church, or maybe you're a volunteer, just all these different things that you know that you've been called to do, and you're going to do it, right? But sometimes, even though something is good, doesn't mean we're supposed to do it right then and there, right? In the story, my friend, he had good intentions. He was going back to the chair to read to his daughter to tuck her in, but the timing was off just a little bit. If he would have waited a couple moments, he would have been prepared to go back safely. But because he went ahead or went backwards right away, that's when he ran into some problems. So I want to encourage everybody that sometimes in life we need to take a second and be still and wait for the opportune moment. Wait for God to reveal to us the obstacles that we could potentially run into. Wait for God to reveal the yes to us, the go ahead to us, the permission to us. Be still and wait on the Lord before you move and to do different things. Now, this is something that is extremely difficult and something that I've always kind of struggled with in trying to understand when's the right time to do something and when God's opening a door or closing a door or whatever the case is. And it's something that you have to find out for yourself. I'm just here to encourage you to open up your mind to that possibility of being still and waiting on the Lord. Okay, so being still doesn't mean doing nothing, right? Being still means you're ready to act. You're prepared to act. You're just waiting on the go-ahead, right? So in the story, this guy was ready. He had his daughter. He had the book. He had the lights off. He just needed to wait for the moment where he could see all the different obstacles, right? Where his eyes were able to adjust to the darkness. So in our life, we have to be ready, right? We have to have done the writing, right? We've had to write the script and write the song and write the poem. We're just waiting. We're being still for God to present the opportunity, right? We have to create our resume. We have to apply for jobs. We have to go on interviews, but we're being still waiting for God to tell us which job to accept, right? We have to do all these different things, but being still is waiting for the opportune time to move, right? Waiting for the opportune time to move. I remember whenever we were kids and my parents would always say to wake up, eat breakfast, watch a TV show or whatever, but then get dressed for the day. And we would always ask them, well, where are we going? And they said, nowhere right now, but you got to be ready whenever it's time to go, right? And so the idea is whenever it's time to go, we can just turn off the TV or put up our book or, well, we didn't read, but you know what I mean? Do that and then put on our shoes and leave, as opposed to when it's time to go, having to go upstairs, take a shower, get dressed, and then leave, right? If you get ready and then you're still waiting on the right time to act, everything falls into line and everything runs smoothly. So I want to encourage everybody to be still and wait on the Lord in the different areas of your life that you're trying to move forward in. Regardless as if it's good or bad, be still and pray to God and listen to Him and wait to see when is the opportune time for you to move forward. Be still and wait on the Lord. All right, so question time. Just like every other week, I'm going to ask you guys a couple of questions. And again, I encourage you to think through them by yourself and with your accountability partner to see in which ways you can grow and which ways you've been growing since the year has started. So let's get started. Question 1. In what areas of your life do you need to be still and wait for God? In what areas in your life do you need to be still and wait for God? Question 2. Are you a patient person? Why or why not? Are you a patient person? Why or why not? Thank you for checking out this week's episode of Weekly Words. I pray that you thoroughly enjoyed it and got something positive from it. If you have any suggestions for things for me to talk about in the future, feel free to email me at weeklywordsrt@gmail.com. Again, that's weeklywordsrt@gmail.com. All right, I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you back here next time.
Stop me, oh, somebody stop me, stop me, stop me, please, somebody stop me, stop me, stop me, oh, somebody stop me, and Lord, if I'm doing it wrong, then please stop me.